Hello.
Hello.
Welcome back.
Welcome back.
How are you today?
Very fine.
Wonderful. Wonderful. I'm distracted by a tiny little black cat that we have. It's her day 5 with us. Maybe she will show herself at some point. Missy Fu, Negrita, vieni aquí. Vieni aquí. Ah, she's hopping off. No, please, not yet. A little bit camera shy. Okay, so we read a little bit.
Yes, please.
Okay, we're starting a new chapter today. It is called Starting Again.
That's what we do.
That's what we
do. We recorded already, and now it broke down, and now we start again.
Exactly. In the last chapter and the last episode, it ended with you getting a friendly divorce from your wife.
What was the other word?
Amicably.
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 Okay.
Like amigos.
Sí.
No? Friends. Amicably. A friendly.
Amigable.
Sí, amenable.
Amigable.
Un divorcio, ¿qué?
Amigable.
Amigable. Sí.
Now you have to tell people soon we will start with all that in Spanish.
Yes.
Oh, that will be a challenge.
Yeah, not for you, but, well, for you
for
too.
the cat.
The challenge will be for me to read Spanish, to try and keep up with the conversation, and for you to remain patient. Yes. For our Spanish-speaking listeners.
Yes.
Okay. So we read?
You will tell them how many followers we have already after, 10 episodes?
I think they can see it. 19.
Oh, they can see 19. Wow.
19. Yeah.
That's something.
That's something. Also, there are people who are not followers or subscribers but still listen or watch it. Anyhow.
No. Go ahead.
Starting again. I found a new companion, Elisa, and we bought another house in a neighboring village. This was a former blacksmith workshop, with a house, a workshop, courtyard, and a garage. Once again, we expanded, renovated, and improved the property. Since there was more space here than in the previous house, friends lived there with us for a time, and we often had visitors. People said that they came to me to rest, that there was an atmosphere in the house that allowed you to recharge the burnt-out batteries.
That was simply an excuse, because there was a lot of work to do, and they said, we come to rest.
Ah.
See? Yeah.
Well, you've created the same atmosphere here in the guest house. People very often come here, they enter, and they're like, wow, how peaceful. I don't know what's happening with me here, but I'm really resting. There was a tiny room in the attic. A bed, a small table, and a cannon stove. Cannon stove.
Again, I have to explain.
Yeah,
like
okay.
A tube, like big tube with iron.
Like a cast iron bucket.
Yes, yes. They're very beautiful. And on top with some rings, and you can take one ring off, you can put a teapot on it, so it got the heat directly from the flame.
So you can
Very
cook on
beautiful. You can cook on it. Very beautiful. They are small, so you need. I often burned. How you call this, from the pine trees?
The cones, the pine cones. Yeah.
I went in the morning, often very early. I went into the forest to sit there to meditate. Okay, whatever that was, and then picking up the pine cones and at night burning them in my stove.
They are great to
Because maybe
start a fire.
I needed some peace.
Some rest.
People were coming to me and they, it's so peaceful, but me what? So I went up into my little room to have some peace.
The rest of the attic was filled with furniture or other items that were stored here. I often went into that small room to be alone, to meditate, read, or to sleep. There was an old, half-rusted door handle on the wooden door, which made it difficult to open the door, and it made a squeaking noise while turning it. Every night when I slept there, the door would groan open in the middle of the night. When the door opened again one night, I half uncovered my bed and said, "I understand you're cold. Come in, lie in bed with me and rest." Then I completely covered my bed again. From that night on, the door to my little room never opened alone again.
Or ghost.
Poor ghost was
Maybe
cold.
Haunted cold and haunted ghost and it was cold, freezing, no jacket, nothing. I could have given my army jacket to the ghost.
To the ghost.
To the ghost. And you see only the jacket walking around. That would have been a nice idea.
You considered before that it is a ghost, or it just came to you in the moment to say, "Come on"?
It was something coming there because it was not reasonable. Even you, it needed some effort to open that door. So, clack, click. And of course there was no one there. And it happened night after night after night. So look who's there. The little ghost.
Miniki.
No,
she's playing catch.
So, yeah, well, I suppose it's something that is living there.
But it didn't scare you.
No. I made like that. Say, okay, yeah, I get the point. You are cold. No, come here. Right down here. Made like that.
Oh.
And that's it. And never came back. Or came in when I went into the room and was sitting there waiting until I go to bed. Slipping under my
Bed covers, bed sheets.
Mm.
Several of our friends had contacted an Indian guru named Osho. They walked around in orange robes and a necklace of wooden beads around their neck. On this chain hung a picture of their long and white-haired guru. I didn't mind walking around in my old army jacket, but this imitation of an oriental dress in the middle of Germany wasn't my cup of tea. Ha!
Aha.
Aha!
We
Negrita!
got you. The ghost.
Hey, chiquititi. Hola. Mira. You're not so visible. You're visible. More. Look. Okay, that's it. Performance over. You're scared of a little paper? Ah, Negrita?
Okay.
Hachi. Bless you. May you be blessed.
Oh, better.
A friend, a follower of the guru, came to visit, dressed normally, and talked about a new master that he had met. A Sufi master from Afghanistan. None of us had ever heard the word Sufi, so we asked the friend about this new spiritual direction. He recommended us to read a book called The Last Barrier
Good.
by Richard Field. He also reported that a camp with this master from Afghanistan would be held in the French Alps in the summer. I loved the book, and that summer I set off for France with Elisa. Above the tiny village of Chateau Queyras, about a 12-kilometer walk on a paved dirt road was the summer camp located. We first stopped near the village at a narrow stream, set up our tent, and spent a few days there. Here I observed one of these enormous anthills. Kit Kat? She's watching the computer screen and is, well, typing. Kit Kat? Could you come off there, please? Wow. Okay. I think she finds it very entertaining because it's moving. Here I observed one of these enormous anthills with the little animals running back and forth. It's not clear whether it was the effects of the joint I had smoked or whether my perception had been altered in some other way. the swarm of ants suddenly showed a very clear pattern, a pattern that the animals had to repeat over and over again for some inexplicable reason.
So, I remember sitting there next to the creek, and an ant went into the water. It would drown, so I took it out.
Mm-hmm.
It went again.
Mm.
I took it out again. It went again. That maybe was the destiny of the ant to drown there in the water. No, I observed that. I mean, you could fall into the water. It was a mistake. I take you out. I help you to come out. No, again. And it was not standing there drinking. No. It was jumping into the water and being carried away by the water.
Maybe it was going on a journey.
Could be. I don't know.
What was there a specific pattern? Was the pattern of any meaning, or it's just that they had to?
No, that I don't know. But I became aware that it was always repeating the same pattern. So it seems that each ant had to go that way. There was no way out of the pattern. Then maybe the pattern changed, but again it was a pattern. No? Who knows what the pattern was? In my head or the ants?
The camp consisted of a variety of larger and smaller tents, mostly green and grey military tents that were used for overnight stays, as a kitchen or as a dining room.
It was 2,000 meters high.
So cold for the summer.
In the winter maybe cold. In the night, at night cold. I don't remember. But it was okay. No problem.
The Sufi master appeared. A second Gandalf, exactly what we expected from a guru. A little bit like you, no? Gandalfito, e bendito.
Long white beard, long white hair, his Islamic clothes, long clothes, very handsome man. I liked him. The first moment I saw that man, I liked him.
Chants and mantra meditations were held daily. For lunch, we all met, about 150 people, in the dining tent. There, we had nettle soup, because, according to the advanced camp residents, it was very good and helpful for meditation. After several days of slurping down this not too tasty soup, I, as they say, lost my temper. I got up from the table, took one of my friends, and together we went into the kitchen to see what the advanced spiritual colleagues were eating there. No trace of soup. Whole grain bread, many types of cheese, eggs, and everything other than nettles. The camp had lost some of its color. Hypocrisy, that is, no?
I don't
Or
know
is
if
there
that,
another
if that
explanation
comes
for it?
later, but there I met, I suppose it comes later, I met a man who picked us up going up the 12 kilometers, and then years later we met in Istanbul again with the same master, and we were talking, I've been in France, and I was the personal driver of that guru in France for 5 years. He said it was very funny because the guru, he was afraid of driving in the car. And I was wondering, so if you are that guru,
What is there to be
how
afraid
can you
of?
be afraid of what? That God calls you home? Or I mean, I had that thought, no? So then there's this Hussein was his name. He said, I was a driver for 5 years for that man, and after 5 years I approached him, and I said to him, look, I think in reality we are not learning anything here. And the guru said to him, well, it took you 5 years to see that. If you really want to learn something, then go to Istanbul, and he gave him the address from these people in Istanbul. So, I mean, it was an entrance door, and maybe some people don't need to come to something deeper, and they are happy with that entrance, and they go every year there and do their meditation and blah blah blah, and other people are claiming for more. I said, no, there should be something deeper. It's nice because it's clean, it's nice activities. In the morning, say hello to the sun, and
drink some nettle
chanting,
soup.
and eating nettle soup, and it's one entrance door to all that. No?
It's also what you always say. You say claim for what you need or what you want. Don't wait for it to happen.
But you need the need. If you don't have the need, simply you will not claim. Now maybe you could have the need and you are too shy to claim for it.
That's what I meant, yeah.
No? And then there are different ways. Sometimes a master would never say something to a person, always waiting that it comes out from the person. And sometimes the master would push the person in certain moments, no? Because they are maybe too shy, and the master perceives they want, they need. It's more that you need it more than that you want it, because what you want is coming from your mind, and that's not the right thing. That you have the need for that. No? In Sufism, it's called nostalgia. You are missing home. Home, but not home here from this planet. Home where you feel at home, where you belong to this big pot of souls where you came from, maybe. So first of all, you need that need. If you don't have the need, don't pretend to have it, and it's not your job to look for that. No? But some people have it, but they're too shy, so you have to poke them a little bit.
All residents of the summer camp, including the master, were invited to the opening ceremony of a small chapel built high in the mountains. The priest from the village and a choir were present to inaugurate and bless this building with a speech and singing. We all picked out our most colorful and oriental costumes to honor the occasion. But what a surprise! The master appeared in a Tyrolean suit. Tyrol is the region, so in Austrian, typical traditional Austrian.
With short leather trousers, and this hat was what you call it, Gamsbart. It's not a feather, it's Gamsbart, that should be.
It's the beard of a goat, no?
Of a goat that is standing here like a feather.
Huh.
Oh, that was the most brilliant teaching without saying one word. We all standing there, dressed these hippies in Indian style, and that guy showed up with short leather trousers, all in green, and with that hat on him. Yeah, because we were going. He was honoring the priest.
He was going to a church.
He was going to a church, you know.
Short leather pants and a hat with the chamois beard, so that goat. He was apparently the only one who noticed that we were in the Alps and that the village priest had invited us. That was a wonderful lesson without saying a word. Later, I learned from my master the saying, never disturb the harmony of a moment.
Or destroy. Never, whatever philosophy you are carrying around. You became, say you don't drink alcohol, or you became a vegan or whatever, and you go home to visit your mother, but your mother does not know that you are vegan, so she was cooking the whole day, and you come there and there's some meat on the table. Eat the meat. It's not the moment to explain and to stand out, because the only reason why you do what you do, you want to stand out and you want to look down on others. And you want to say to them, I got the point and you did not. No, don't do that. And maybe by time, one day you talk with your mother, and then it comes out and say, look, mommy, I stopped eating meat because of poor animals or whatever. And next time you come, maybe she has that in mind, but not in that moment, not in front of all the people. My master, he went to make together the military service. It was in Turkey with another master. And when the military service was finished, they made a feast there, and they were all drinking raki, this alcohol from Turkey. And these two, they said, no, we are spiritual, we cannot do that. And when they came to see their master, the master said, you have been stupid. Never do that. Drink a little bit. And that not destroying the harmony of that moment brings you closer to your creator than fulfilling the law. If your law is not to drink alcohol, it's okay. Don't drink because you submitted to that law, and that's fine.
Yeah.
But don't go and show off with that. And no.
It's like, what is the point of saying, well, in our religion or belief system we don't drink alcohol? I don't think the point is, I suppose the point is not that alcohol is so terrible that even the tiniest little amount will do something. It's simply about being, maybe, how would you say it, clean, to
sober,
not get, to be sober.
In the moment where you should be, you know. But
to stay away from the things that distract you.
Be,
yeah.
Is if they are celebrating the birthday of your mother and they are drinking some champagne, my master said literally to me, take the glass and drink it. Don't make that show there. No, it's not good. No, he said the only sin that we could commit on this planet is to cause harm to a human heart. So try not to do that. So that person in that moment will not understand you. She's not on your side, so it makes no point in this arguing and discussing and trying to make the other person understand. No, I often thought I came still with my wonderful jacket and dressed like that for Christmas with a cake. Of course, it's very natural,
very healthy,
brown,
whole wheat,
and with a lot of sesame seeds on top of it. And I came in, and my brother looked at me and said, "Oh, very nice your cake, but we don't eat bird food." And that was another wonderful teaching, because in that moment I understood you did it wrong. Buy some sweets from the bakery here that they know and they enjoy, and that's it.
Yeah.
You know. But we are like that. I mean, that's our ego, and the ego is pushing us to the way we should go. And if we find a way, or we believe that we found the way, then it's natural that we want to show that to other people, because we believe that we got the point.
Yes.
But the thing is, there's no point. There's no point. There's nothing you could do, and that is a recipe for to live the perfect life, perfect in the eyes of the Creator. No, you should enjoy your life. Observe life, enjoy, and as we said, it should be an adventure. No,
yes.
Whatever happens, let it be an adventure. Observe it. Well, maybe we drown now with our ship. Oh, what an adventure! Not everyone had that. So.
In all my years of spiritual activity, I have learned that the master is one thing and his students are another. Very few students can perceive the intrinsic value and real meaning of the teachings. While we were away, we gave the house to a few friends to spend a couple of weeks there on vacation. When we returned, our friends excitedly asked if we had never heard footsteps in the attic at night. They told us that often at night you could clearly hear someone walking across the floor. Although we never noticed those footsteps, I remembered the squeaky door of my little room up there, which opened when I slept there.
Yeah, because the ghost got nervous because I went on holidays
And
he didn't
came.
know where to sleep.
Yeah.
No one was taking care of him. Poor ghost.
Poor ghost.
Poor ghost. Ghosty.
How did your wife take all of this, Elisa? You told her about, please, you're feeling cold, come and sleep with me? Or you don't recall?
I cannot remember.
Or the friends saying their footsteps?
I don't remember if I told them about that or... No, I don't remember.
Friends had told us about people driving cars from Germany to Persia for a salary. We found out more, and soon Elisa, me, and two couples, friends, were waiting in Hanover to take over our brand new cars and start our journey into the distance. Our idea was to travel further on to India with 1,000 marks that the driver received as wages. We stood patiently in front of an apartment door until a young man from Persia, wearing only a bathrobe, finally opened it for us.
But maybe I just see the image, maybe it was not even a bathrobe, it was just a towel around his waist.
A less clothed woman appeared behind him.
Yes.
This man was the owner of the vehicles and our guide during the trip. 5 cars were to be transferred. The owner drove one, we and our friends drove 3 others, and 2 young men took over the last vehicle. Our new Iranian friend handed us the car keys, described where the cars were parked, and said that we would meet at a restaurant and gas station on the highway about 100 kilometers south of Hanover in 2.5 hours. The young man apparently had something to do before he could get into his car. We found the vehicles and drove no faster than 100 kilometers per hour, as we had been instructed, since the engines had to get slowly used to their job. To the gas station. There, we had enough time to introduce ourselves to each other. After 3 hours, the boss came. We continued at a speed of 100 until Austria. We stopped there for 2 days to have the cars inspected in a workshop. The boss drove to a large shopping center in town and purchased 100 suits, all the same, but in different sizes.
All the same.
What?
He opened his shoulder, all the same.
It is so strange to think about this now, because nowadays everyone goes to Asia or the the Oriental, the Orient to buy clothes because they are still handmade and.
No, they want to appear Americans or Europeans or whatever they wanted to appear.
For his seemingly numerous family members, these suits. Now we could step on the gas. The boss drove like a devil on the dangerous Autoput, the highway that runs through Yugoslavia and Bulgaria all the way to Istanbul.
But it's not a highway, it's just a normal
Country road.
country road. I mean, not narrow, but a normal country road. You have in both directions the car coming and going.
On this street, you will find a wooden cross every 500 meters, sometimes on the right side of the road, sometimes on the left. A reminder of the people who lost their lives here. The result of this frenzy was a first accident caused by one of my friends. In Bulgaria, on a narrow bridge, he collided head-on with another vehicle. Not a particularly serious accident, but the bumper and one headlight were no longer there. Then Turkey. No traffic rules, or at least it seemed that way. A red light meant absolutely nothing. No indicators, everyone just drove as best they could, but everyone was careful not to collide with anyone. It started to snow in the interior of Turkey. The asphalt often ended abruptly. The Turks drove at night with only their position lights, their parking lights, no? I never understood how they were able to see anything. Shepherd boys tried to force us to stop if we didn't throw cigarettes or other things out of the car windows for them. At high speed in snow drifts at night, that was crazy. We started to drive slower. My hands were sweaty with
Sweating,
fear.
I couldn't really hold the wheel, sweating.
And you were driving so fast because you were aiming to keep up with
Well, we had to go
the
with
devil
a
driver.
wonderful guy.
The next day we suddenly found our leader's car parked across the street waiting for us. We all stopped and the boss asked us if we were on vacation and wanted to be on the road for an eternity. He explained.
He was the most arrogant person. Wow, very young, the most arrogant guy.
He explained. When you drive into a new valley, you have to take a look at all the vehicles that are there, every car and its speed. This way you can calculate exactly when and where this car will appear in the valley. No need to brake before a curve. We raced through the mountains at a speed of about 130 kilometers per hour. That is crazy.
That was crazy. I mean, if you said, well, next half hour I will be dead.
And how did your Elisa was with you in the car? Your wife.
Yes.
You remember anything about her
She
reaction?
had no problem. She was sitting there comfortably enjoying the countryside.
She trusted you.
She trusted. Like my wife giving birth in the middle of the countryside with no one, only me.
No electricity, no nothing.
So, yeah, apparently she trusted me.
Another
The
accident.
only guys, the two boys who were driving a car, they came far behind. They were smoking joints the whole time. They were relaxed and said, well, we know where Tehran is, where we have to go to, don't worry.
Another accident happened, but the Iranian didn't care. The cars would be repaired in Iran and sold there for 3 times the price. So really it was...
It was like 15,000 marks, one car,
Yeah.
and they would sell it for 45. So he didn't mind if he crashed the car or half crashed it. Yeah.
When we arrived at the Turkish-Iranian border, we were all exhausted. It was night and we were eating in a restaurant. We asked our boss to stay here and rest. He, on the other hand, explained that he had reserved rooms for all of us, 4 double rooms, in Tehran, and if we were really tired, he could give us plenty of stimulants that he kept under his dashboards. He opened the compartment and there were boxes upon boxes of medication. Well, we all took several pills and got back into our cars to drive the remaining 800 kilometers to Tehran that same night. But to all of our amazement, the Iranian friend stopped again in the same parking lot of the restaurant where we had dinner, pulled out a sleeping bag and lay down to sleep. We couldn't believe our eyes and spent all night awake staring into infinity. You had these big eyes. And he just went to sleep.
We were starting the cars, supposedly now going,
Yeah.
and he made like that, stopped his car, took his sleeping bag and went to sleep. That should have been the moment to take out my knife and stab him. No, sorry, sir, not with us. But I was still not at that point. That came a little bit later.
The next day we continued on a kind of highway to Tehran. We reached the city late in the evening. The boss drove several laps through the center and every now and then stopped in front of a hotel, went into the building, came back and continued driving. Ultimately he told us that at this moment it was New Year's Day in Iran and there were no rooms. Just a dormitory where we all could stay together. When I heard that, I put the car in reverse and drove as fast as I could toward a parked vehicle, only to stop just before impact. The boss came running towards my car. I had a long travel knife in my luggage. I pulled it out, jumped out of the car and yelled at him, "You better find a double room for all of us right now or your life and that of your car will end here." Okay, I really cannot imitate you.
No, but
anyone
more or less,
shouting, but more or less.
No.
The boss looked at me calmly, said okay, and found us the rooms.
No problem. He
From-
needed that. He needed someone to stop him, to say, no, not with me.
To stand up,
To
right?
stand
And to
up.
show...
And from that moment, I was his best friend. In Austria, when he went shopping, he went with someone else. From that moment on, wherever he had to go to the police, to customs service or whatever, "Oh, Thomas, come with me, Thomas, come with me." He needed that. "No, you will not play with me."
From that moment on, I suddenly became the Iranian's best friend. Wherever he went, to the customs office or to the police, he always said, "Thomas, come with me. We have something to do." To show his gratitude, our leader invited us to dinner in town. We were all excited and expecting to get to know a typical Iranian restaurant and local food. After a short drive through Tehran at night, we finally stopped in front of the restaurant he was looking for, a McDonald's.
He couldn't believe that. And he was so proud. No, that's why this
Because
food.
we have
We have that. Look,
McDonald's.
we are becoming modern. No, we have a McDonald's here.
Our disappointment couldn't have been greater. We observed the people on the streets of Tehran. There were young women walking around completely veiled, wearing high-heeled shoes and skin-tight jeans. This contrast was incomprehensible to us, because people seemed to think we were Americans. We were spat on several times in the street. Well, as promised, each driver received his 1,000 marks, 2 500-mark notes, which we were only able to change later in Turkey with great difficulty. 2 of our friends decided to travel further to India. We and a couple of friends preferred to go back to Turkey for a vacation. So we boarded a train that could take us from Tehran to Istanbul. We had a compartment with 6 beds, all to ourselves, and after this tiring car journey, it was a relief to be able to rest there. There was a dining car, and at every station where the train stopped, vendors would come from the platform to the train to offer bread, fruits, handcraft, and so on. One evening, after we finished our dinner in the dining room and asked the waiter for the bill, the waiter explained to us that a businessman, who was also eating there, had already paid our bill. We thanked him and went to the compartment to sleep. Shortly afterwards, the door opened and our new friend entered. Little by little, he started harassing the women until we finally asked one of the inspectors to get this guy away from us. The compartment was locked from the outside by the train officer, and we spent a peaceful night. The next morning, our visitor returned. I had opened the window to let fresh air into the compartment. The man ordered my friend to close the window as he couldn't bear the cold air. The friend closed the window. I stood up, and with a very harsh and definite movement, I opened it again. Then I sat down directly opposite the man, took my now famous knife out of my backpack, and began cleaning my fingernails with it, while staring the intruder in the eyes. The man got up, left the compartment, and was never seen again. It seemed like you had to show people in this part of the world that you were also capable of asserting your opinions.
That's it.
Yes.
That's a lot there.
You have to play the game.
Or you go to Morocco.
Well.
If you are fearful, they take over. If you are not fearful, that's the most brilliant place where you can go to. They are very friendly, but they want to see that you can stand up for your rights. So you're not, no.
In Istanbul, this fantastic city, we separated from our friends who had decided to return to Germany. We agreed to travel a bit in Turkey.
Finished?
Chapter finished.
Finished, no?
Yes.
Okay. That's it for today. What comes next?
Looking for the master.
Oh.
You might be meeting your master.
Say what is written on that Lesezeichen.
Ah, yes.
There's a photo on it, and the photo is from a private island from David Copperfield that he bought. I saw that photo, and then what is written there?
Yeah, there's like a beach and maybe an umbrella and 2 chairs and sky and ocean. And it says, if in life you have a goal, look to the donut, not to the hole. Which is really nice.
Be focused on
Yeah, look at what you have, not at what you don't
work
have.
with what you have. No?
Yeah.
To do what you have to do when you have to do it with what you have. Don't, tomorrow maybe. You will never get there.
That's abundance. Yes.
Okay,
Wonderful.
abundance. Goodbye. See you later, maybe.
Hasta la próxima.